Today we're going to be having some fun with creativity, hopefully a few giggles, and a little touch of magic. Thanks so much for joining me here today. My name is Julia, and I am with Julia Sue Stamping, where I am passionate about stamping, coloring, paper crafting, making cards, and sharing the fun of how to do all of that with you. I live in Northeast Ohio and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Everything I use in this video will be listed down below in the description, so please be sure you check it out. My online store is listed there, as well as my blog. Both of those have a lot more detail, so if you would like to make any purchases, thank you. And if you want to go to the blog and get more details such as measurements, you can do that and make this card with other elements as well. You don't have to stick to what I show you. All right, my friends, go grab some coffee, grab some snacks, and let's get ready to craft our stress away. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how this is incredible? Look how much there is. I am blown away by how much designer series paper is in this package. And the paper is really fun. It is so full of vibrancy. It's eclectic, and this paper is, you know what, my friends, it's ready to party on our cards. So cool. So this is what I used on this card here. Bringing in the basics that we have, we start off with a Misty Moonlight base. This paper has been cut to be 8.5 by 5.5 inches, and then it was scored at 4 1/4. So we will fold it at the score line, make sure it's nice and tight with a bone folder, ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is take a piece of basic white cardstock. This has been cut to be 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and I actually cut 2 of them because I'm going to put one on the inside. Let's go ahead and adhere these to the base, one to the inside of the card and one to the outside of the card. I like to use the tape roller. That's my favorite type of adhesive, the Stampin' Seal Plus. If you like to use the glue adhesive or a different type, that's absolutely fine. You need to use what's going to work for you and help your crafting work really well. I cut a piece of that eclectic designer series paper. I liked this a lot because I thought this could be for a card for any gender. Could be for guys or for gals. And I cut this piece of designer series paper to be 3 1/8 inch by 3 3/4 inch. So it will go on here in this way. Then I cut another piece of the Misty Moonlight designer series paper, and I wanted to add a little bit of drama. I decided a good thing to do would be to get an embossing folder, and I used one of the basics 3D embossing folders. 3 folders come in here, and I used the one that has polka dots today. I think this is such a fun one, and I thought it would really go well and be a nice juxtaposition with the eclectic paper. So I cut a piece of the Misty Moonlight to be 1 7/8 inch by 3 3/4 inch, embossed it with those fun polka dots, and then as you can see, it will match perfectly up with the designer series paper. Now, whenever I make cards, I like to do what I call a dry run, and I put things down first to kind of make sure they're going to match, make sure they're going to fit. Now, if you like, you could also use the other side of the designer series paper, because all these papers always have 2 sides. It's kind of like there's more than one side of the story, and there's always more than one side of the paper. Now I'm going to put some adhesive on the embossed sheet and put that on as well. All right, coming together very nicely. Now I decided to add a little bit of fun with this, and I brought in some die cuts. I've got from the Stylish Shapes a square, and I'd like to have that be kind of a focal point. I thought it would be in, this would be for the sentiment right here. And then I thought it would be really nice for a focal point out of the Gorgeously Made die cuts to use some adhesive sheet, because this is such a detailed piece and it's difficult to put glue on just the right places with here, or using the tape adhesive, it's difficult as well. So I took adhesive sheets. These come with 12 in a package of the adhesive sheet, and I took a piece of scrap of the Misty Moonlight, and you can see I cut a whole bunch out of here because I made a lot of these cards, and I put the adhesive sheet on the back of my scrap. And then I just ran it through the cut and emboss machine multiple times. Out of this one, I think I've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them that I cut out of this. But yet there's more here, so I kept it, and I just keep it in my Misty Moonlight paper because I can use it for other projects as well. There are plenty of other things, lots of other room, so I can make other things using the adhesive sheet. So as you can see, this is the one I did out of the Misty Moonlight, and I have the adhesive sheet on the back of it. Then I also have, out of basic white scrap paper, I did the focal point, and it's so cool because the Stylish Shapes has this nice little stitching detail look in it. So I'll put that on there, and then for the sentiment piece, I've got this. So lots of fun little details on this card. I'm going to go ahead then and adhere this right onto the card using my adhesive. And I'm going to offset it a little bit more to what for me is the left side, and up a little higher, leaving more room on the bottom of the card. Then I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool and pick off the adhesive sheet from my focal element here, which is the die cut from the Gorgeously Made dies. You can see how easy it is to get that off, and now the whole thing has adhesive on the back, and it's very easy to simply lay down on here. Want it to kind of get on that white up there. See how easy it is to adhere? And it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay there. The last thing I did was grab the By My Side stamp set, and I'm going to use this Thinking of You Today sentiment. Let's see if I can find it. Thinking of You, right here. Pull it out. Now I like to keep my rubber backing the whole thing in the back when I do my stamp sets, so that I always know if I have one missing and where it belongs. That's how I use these. And I'm going to place it onto an acrylic block, and now it stays there. All I did was press it down onto it, and it's going to stay. I'll use the Misty Moonlight ink. Ink up the sentiment, just tap, 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 and then I'm going to place it right down on top of the sentiment piece. Just go down and up. No rocking, because if you rock, do you see how I've got a little bit of ink on the outside there? If I would have rocked it when I put it down, just going trying to push it down, I would have gotten that ink on my sentiment piece. But because I just went down and up, no ink anywhere else. I do have ink on my finger, but that's another story. I'm always getting ink on my finger. I'm going to lift this up with some mini dimensionals because it's kind of skinny. And I'm going to put 3 of them on here. Take the backing off. And I'm going to lay it down. Very good. I think it might be a little crooked. So I'll simply pick that up, straighten it out a little, and I can tell it was crooked because of this paper. I cut the paper very carefully to make sure it was straight. All right, I also have a piece of the matching designer series paper that I've cut to be 5 1/4 inches by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to lay this on the inside as well. Now this would be a great birthday card. It would be a just thinking of you. You could use it for sympathy. This card is perfect for a male or a female. It doesn't have to be, cards don't have to be all flowery. All right. And the finishing touch on here is going to be some sequins from the Neutrals Adhesive-Backed Sequins. So bringing all these elements together are so much fun. And you need to remember that when you're doing something like a card, it's not just a card, it's just a little mini work of art that you're doing. And if a sequin or two jumps on the floor, that's okay. We'll just consider it a crafty confetti party. All right, so there we go. All set. If you enjoyed this crafty adventure, please be sure you give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this content with others. All of these things help grow my small business, and I appreciate your support. So until next time, happy crafting. I hope you have a chance to get inky today. Bye.